back to Eddie and the team.
Jerry Toms, for 8 years, the general manager of the Millennium Stadium. He's off for the last time. Dan Biggar will get us underway. They've all had a breather. Else they'll all soon be breathing heavily again. What a first half. Lee Halfpenny takes it quickly. Off we go. Dan Biggar. Long diagonal towards Mike Brown, whose tap tackle on George North is one of the moments of the championship. Halfpenny keeps it in field. Owen Farrell, neat footwork. Biggar. Good, yeah, it just wobbled in the air above his head. No wind, of course, with the roof being shut. It's a little aerial to begin with, and that's a mistake by Lee Halfpenny, and we haven't seen many of those.
Well, it was a battle of wills, wasn't it, and patience, and England won that one in the end. Very tempting to start a counter-attack from there, Shane, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly, and I think, you know, there's a bit of nerves by both teams at the start of this second half. It's a little bit of an arm wrestle, there's a kicking battle going on, and it's territory game at the moment.
Tom Youngs. Tom Croft at the front. Chris Robshaw digs it out. Good by England. Up to the 22. Wales scrambling back. It's on the floor now for Ben Youngs. Tom Croft and Joe Marler take up their places. Here's the prop. Here's the back row forward. For Maul, says Steve Walsh. Wales put in.
Well, he sends pretty clear, and it was pretty clear. England did the hard work, they did the balanced drive. You've got to understand there, got to get enough men. When England do play well, they get enough men into the breakdown, they get the ball back timorously. When they don't play well or they have trouble, they don't get enough men in or they don't clear the ball early enough, and that sort of thing results.
Alan Wynne-Jones receiving some attention. Everybody has a say. Well, actually, Toby Faletau is probably the one person, Shane, who doesn't say much.
No, he's a quiet guy off the field, and certainly on the field as well. He does all his talking and his physical attributes to the team.
Well, this is an area where Wales dominated in the first half. Very important in the second half for them that they keep the pressure on, and conversely, obviously, England have got to get into the game in this area.
Touch. Set.
Wales have another scrum penalty.
That's a big let-off for Wales as well. It's a great area in front to clear the line, earn another 30 metres.
Well, we'll no doubt see the replay of that in a minute.
Yeah, mate, that's fine.
But on this side, certainly, Marler got buckled.
Dan Biggar takes Wales up to near halfway.
Watch here. Jones gets inside Marler, who bends. Fairly easy decision.
Full line out in front of Richard Hibbard, but it's well stolen by Tom Croft.
He couldn't do anything about it. We straight into a knock-on scrum, red.
Scrum, red put in.
Would he do much?
England seem to have done their homework on Wales in the line-out. If they're not turning the ball over, they certainly seem to be getting close to that ball when it's being thrown in.
Changes in the England front row. Marco Vunipola comes on for Joe Marler.
Line-out throw is pretty marginal, eh?
Well, Marler struggling with Adam Jones. This man, fresh on, has to do a job.
Here you go, boys. Give me some patience, please. 18, White. Okay. 18, White. Crouch! Hooker's there, go there, left. Go left a bit.
He wants to move him a
Tell you what,
centimetre.
Give him a swap.
Let's swap places, Steve. You go and hook and let him have the whistle. Just get on with it, for God's sake.
No. Wells put in on halfway.
I'll talk to you again. If you move, you will be penalised. He keeps on creeping over here. I've told him. Be quiet and scrum.
It's Steve Walsh show at the moment.
Crouch. Touch. Set.
Another penalty to Wales. Something has happened. Steve Walsh has taken it on himself to penalise England heavily.
Just going to say, England got a big problem. He's decided that they're not complying with whatever they're doing. And England, whatever they do, they don't want scrums now because they're 8-0. It will not. This won't change.
Marco Vunipola comes on and is penalised. It's become a worrying trend.
Well, let's look. Well, there is a bind there from Adam Jones. It's not where it should be on the body, but it is at least a bind.
Tony Faletau over the tail of the line-out. Justin Tipuric hovers over the ball. Sam Warburton. Hibbard. Alan Wynne-Jones.
And this is what was effective earlier with Wales picking up and going up through the middle. Deciding to come on the blind side here now. Vunipola with a great tackle and he's got his hands in there for the turnover.
Marco Vunipola, advantage being played. England with the advantage. Ben Youngs behind Alex Cuthbert. Halfpenny inside the wing. Back down towards the touchline. Tom Croft to Alex Good. A mistake by the other fullback.
At the moment, Wales have been far more streetwise than England. May just be a question of experience, I'm not sure. May be a question of occasion. But they are doing the things that are close to the margin. They're playing the referee and they're doing it completely rightly. England are standing off and talking about what Wales are or aren't doing. They're complaining to the referee. They need to get in there and mix it.
Wales, with this line-out, they walk very deliberately to it. They know this could be important. Phillips, Roberts comes in flat and hard and goes through Chris Robshaw. Hibbard, oh, he doesn't go through Vunipola.
It's two big hits already by
Wynne-Jones to Adam Jones. Alan Wynne-Jones, done bigger. Jamie Roberts. George North. Faletau.
England about 3 yards offside there.
Phillips. Alan Wynne-Jones. Phillips cuts back the other way. Richard Hibbard. Tom Wood tries to slow down the ball. Tipuric. Sam Warburton takes it up hard and low. Alan Wynne-Jones again. Vunipola very much involved in the tackling process. Ian Evans.
Wales have just got to keep going through the phases, keep their composure, get closer to that white line, cause some fractures in that English defence.
Hibbard. Alan Wynne-Jones again. Keeping half an eye on that far touchline. England's defence good. Gethin Jenkins takes it up. George North. Faletau goes in, hauls a white shirt over. Gethin Jenkins. Phillips. Tipperick. Excellent tackling again. Still there for Mike Phillips. He goes on his own and runs into the brick wall. Dan Cole over the ball. It's there for Wales. Alan Wynne-Jones. Faletau, we have a penalty advantage. Wales can give it some variety with this advantage. Jamie Roberts. That's not variety. Gethin Jenkins places the ball. Dan Biggar. Jonathan Davis. And again, it's Vunipola with a tackle.
I wonder how long this advantage is going to go. It's not going to go any further. I was thinking about that. Well, there are 2 points to make out of that. You've got to be impressed by Wales' dedication to staying on message and going through the phases, and also England's defence.
You know, England's defence was very good there. All the way through that, they put Wales under pressure, but what Wales done well, they kept the ball, kept their patience, moved, even if it was an inch at a time. Eventually coming away with a 3-point attempt at goal. So great play by Wales, great defence by England.
Well, we had a little, I suppose it was a slow start to the second half, Brian. We went aerial for a few minutes. We seem to be brewing up again. Come to you in a minute, Brian. Jonathan.
Yeah, I think, the Welsh have thrown everything at the English, but just this epitomises the defence. Just watch. Jimmy Roberts goes in, Vunipola hits him on the gain line, gets over him and wins the turnover. You might be under pressure in the scrum, but his defensive qualities have been really strong for England.
Crucial here because increments in these games are very important. It will keep the Welsh momentum in forward. When Owen Farrell can't put it down here, but did miss one, heads go down slightly. Converted score, and it's over the 7 points as well.
It's over the 8 points. 7 points comes with conditions. 8 points is the title for Wales. He's done it. Wales 12, England 3. But these are still the early stages of the second half. There is a long way to go.
And the other point, Shane and I were discussing this at half-time about the relative benches. England have a lot of caps on the bench, as many, if not more than some of the players on the field. And at some point they're going to have to use them, and we will see. Oh, here they go. Here we go.
England make changes. Dylan Hartley comes on for Tom Youngs at hooker. So they've changed 2/3 of their front row. Wales would win if the score stays as it is. Mike Phillips with the clearance. A pause for Brian.
Well, it will be interesting to see what difference Dylan Hartley makes, not just in terms of his size or whatever, but obviously Steve Walsh had a beef with where Youngs or what Youngs was doing. He's not there anymore. Let's see if it was a dissatisfaction with the player or with the team.
Courtney Laws has come on. He's come on for Joe Launchbury. So Laws into the second row. Tom Croft won a lot of line-up ball. Well picked up, Madu Tuilagi. Jamie Roberts holds him up. Chris Ashton, bit of heavy boot, footwork. Nathan Jenkins with the tackle. Chris Robshaw in captain. It's out for Ben Youngs. He looks up and finds Owen Farrell. Brad Barrett tackled by Dan Biggar. Youngs to Vunipola. Youngs again. Inside switch to Mike Brown, who didn't come onto it at great pace, but it's still there. Farrell to Lange. Again, it's Jamie Roberts with the tackle.
I think he was on there for Tuilagi to pass that. Jamie Roberts came in on the blitz defence. There was room on the outside.
Tom Wood. Advantage Wales.
I think Mike Phillips with the rip of the ball there.
Lee
Turned the ball over.
Damage over.
Smashes it downfield. Ken Owens is on as a replacement in the Welsh team. Alex Goode runs into Toby Faletau. Youngs looks up again, finds Farrell. Brad Barrett. One of the replacements, Mako Vunipola. Courtney Lawes drives over the ball. Teska from Owen Farrell towards George North, who catches it superbly and then wriggles and places the ball. Ken Owens arrives. Toby Faletau is at number 8. He leaves it for Mike Phillips. This can't go straight out. Jonathan Davis. Cleverly done. Cleverly done. Alex Goode. Lee Halfpenny comes forward. He's been solid all Six Nations. Welsh forwards do some useful driving work. Biggar. Jonathan Davis. Vunipola with the tackle.
Vunipola's tackle stats must be through the roof at the moment. He's only been on 10 minutes, but he's tackled everything.
Mike Phillips. North heads up, tackles Owen Farrell, who then gives it. Dylan Hartley, 16 on the deck. Courtney Lawes over the ball. Barrett. Ben Youngs. Chris Robshaw. Ben Youngs. Dylan Hartley leaves the ball behind, but it's there for Tom Wood. Ken Owens tries to rip it clear. It's there for Justin Tipperick. Mike Phillips with Jonathan Davis and Alex Cuthbert against Mike Brown. Cuthbert, hands off Brown. Cuthbert for the line.
That's a wonderful
finish by Alex Cuthbert. First try of the game. How important will it be? The lead stretches out.
Such an important time to score as well. It was back and forth throughout the last 10 minutes. Wonderful finish by Cuthbert.
Yeah, but the credit for that must go. He finished it off well, but it must go to the forwards for turning that ball over. Owens in there, dogged. And England worked precisely enough to get enough men into the breakdown, which has been their problem. They skewed out the right, and Wales made it count.
Alex Cuthbert showing plenty of pace there, but he had a lot to do. Brown certainly had the angle on him. Fantastic handoff, put him on his backside and finished off.
And this is the work here. Oh, he tries to rip once, twice again, and because of his pressure, it spills out left. He doesn't actually win it outright, but he does enough for it to be untidy.
Has a lot of work to do here. Brown's got the angle, big handoff. Great pace to finish in the corner. What a time to score for Wales.
That man gets the glory. The forwards do the work. It's always been thus, isn't it?
Yeah. Got to give him some credit there, Brian.
Alex Cuthbert scores his 3rd try in this season's championship. Lee Halfpenny, this to extend the lead to 16 points. Slides wide. 17 points. Wales, England 3.
It's a long way back for England now, especially under the pressure they've been in the scrum as well. The line hasn't worked, hasn't functioned as well as they thought it would do.
And this kickoff's so important as well. Wales going to want to catch this and get the ball back down into the England half.
Mike Phillips catches it under pressure. It's from Chris Ashton. Somebody has to play scrum half. And they have 5 seconds only. Sam Warburton has to play it quickly. Didn't risk the pass. And again, it's the 5-second call. Mike Phillips kicks himself. Wales need to manage this area carefully, and England need to start countering. Jamie Roberts hangs on to Chris Robshaw's leg. Vunipola just gets inside Gethin Jenkins. Farrell. Toby Faletau, great tackle. Tom Wood, tackled by Jonathan Davis. A little sniff from Mike Brown. Adam Jones the tackle. Wales, high tackle.
I think that was a little bit harsh.
Jonathan.
Yeah, I think, Wales just scored that try, but this is like a 10-point turnaround. Just watch this opportunity. There we are, dummy pass. If Tuilagi gives that, he just straightens up. There's 1, 2, 3 against 1. He takes her in, missed opportunity. Wales go up and score a great try.
Owen Farrell, this to start the comeback. Oh. Toby Faletau, high tackle, Brian.
You didn't call that. You said it was a good one. What is important here is that Farrell puts this over. It's not an easy one. All of 42, 3 metres. Because England are under, they've been under pressure in nearly every phase. Wales have been more streetwise, have been more physical. England need this to hang on. Going to the last 20, if we can just hang on, then there's at least a possibility.
The flags stay down again.
Just to the left again, and as you said, Brian, wouldn't be an important time to get a 3 points. Puts the advantage back with Wales. Wales will want to get this 22 kicked as long as possible.
A little bit of gamesmanship going on. Dan Biggar and Dylan Hartley just teasing him.
Well, nothing wrong with that. You don't have to put the ball down. You're in the lead. Run the clock down.
Ball's in play. Now then, Dan Biggar is going long. Alex Good. Toby Faletau goes low and then can't grab the England fullback. Farrell. Mako Vunipola, Mike Phillips. They're trying to keep him up. This will be interesting. It is a maul, says the referee.
They've certainly done a good job there, keep up Mako Vunipola.
It's going to be turned over, is this?
Wales do get the put in.
So the thing is, as soon as the referee calls a maul, it doesn't matter whether you're on the floor, kneeling or whatever, you can depose the ball. There's no reason why you have to let go. Even if you're on the wrong side, you don't have to let go of the ball. So it's a hugely important call, and once he's done it, you're going to be quidsing. Is that the Welsh it is?
Do you think? Do you reckon?
Well, I would think a while stabbing the dark, probably.
The captain, Gethin Jenkins, is going off. Brian.
And he's done his work, he's had a good game. And Warburton, the captain.
Okay, no pressure, Sam.
Sam Warburton takes over the leadership of Wales.
Paul James had a strong game last week up in Scotland. He'd be glad to be on the field now with 20 minutes to go.
Another penalty for Wales at the scrummage.
Stay off the arm.
Coming off the arm.
Coming off the arm? Well, the bind is supposed to be on the shirt, actually. Here we go. Gets caught too high. Dan Cole. If you get banged up into there, as soon as your body goes above horizontal, you've got to be monumentally strong to be able to reverse that, and our daily one is.
We are in the...
But as I say, you know, Eddie, all-round England to be given just, you know, well, there's just that bit more streetwise. They just play more on the margins, more on the edge. They're just getting there. And cumulatively, that's making a big difference.
Captain Robshaw, this is replacement Ken Owens, very lively from the hooker position. Ian Evans has been a towering figure. He hadn't played for 6 months and he came in against Ireland and has kept his place and just been a rock for Wales. Adam Jones comes away with it. That's his longest trundle of the championship. Mike Phillips waits. Faletau.
That was a 30-yard run for Adam afterwards, I can assure you.
Faletau made good ground. This is good for Wales as Roberts goes crashing through slightly on his own. It is there for Phillips. Alan Wynne-Jones. Vunipola with a tackle. One more for his personal tally. Jonathan Davis cuts against the stream and breaks the tackles. Phillips. Bigger. George North, acting scrum half, goes that way, pulls himself back.
Boys, come on.
Wales will want to stay away from that touchline.
They do. It's slowed down a bit. Alan Wynne-Jones takes it up. George North off the wing. Owen Farrell with the follow-up tackle, the assist. It's still there. Where is Dan Biggar? Is he looking for the three-pointer? Not yet. Ken Owens.
Well, this is going to stay close because all the Welsh players are within about 15 metres out of the centre. Now widening the options. Now widening.
Dan Biggar's drop for the 20 for the drop.
He knew it. He turned away. The 3 points that may decide the game. Dan Biggar with a drop goal.
A little bit of composure, a little bit of streetwise play, nothing else. Sit back, take the three. Wales have been hugely impressive today, not just in terms of their physicality, but their mental approach to this game has been right on the money.
England ring the changes, the last throw of the dice. Danny Kerr comes on at scrum half. Billy Twelvetrees into the centre. Alex Good is going off. There'll be a ridge. Mike Brown will go to fullback presumably. Jonathan Davis goes up for it. Knock on by England. Lee Halfpenny and the pressure from Twelvetrees.
Has Lee Halfpenny made a mistake? He's been absolutely magnificent.
So has this player, Toby Faletau. The workhorse of the Welsh team, Sam Warburton, storms away. Owen Farrell makes the tackle. Warburton still on his feet. Rampant Wales. Biggar. Lee Halfpenny. Jamie Roberts just in Tipperick. Cuthbert outside him. Tipperick. Still going to Cuthbert. Cuthbert second try. Wales are storming to the title. It has been a fascinating second half and it is turning into a rout.
Unbelievable play by Wales there. All started with a Sam Warburton run, another 30-yard break. Tried the Maori sidestep in the end, but Justin Tipperick, fantastic ball carrier, fantastic ball player, just held the ball long enough to put Cuthbert in the corner. Great play by Wales.
Well, you can't fall off first-line tackles like that, because once you get turned like that, especially when you concede 50, 60 metres at a time, and the impressive thing about Wales, not only the drive, was the fact that quite often people panic when they go through, held the lines, stayed straight, put the chance away. Cairns just come on, he's gone high. You can't go high on Warburton anyway.
It's what we spoke about earlier. England aren't putting any players into that ruck. Sam Warburton saw that, went straight through the middle, made a 30-yard break. Tipperick here does brilliantly well. One dummy, keeps hold of it, waits for Brown to make a second tackle, and just makes an easy offload. Great play by Justin Tipperick.
He walked on the left-hand side there when Tuangi came up. He was caught in no man's land. He drifted early in front of the line, but he didn't hit the man. You've got to either hit the man or you've got to get the ball. You've got to do one or the other. You can't do that.
Beautiful kick by Dan Biggar. The 2 points, it is 27 points to 3. All the predictions we all made were that this would be close. It is 27 points to 3.
Just noticed as well, Lee Halfpenny's, he limped back there to the 22. Looked like he may have had a bang on the thigh. It'd be interesting to see whether he stays on or somebody comes on for Lee Halfpenny.
Toby Flood is on for Owen Farrell. Justin Tipuric. It seems the combination of Tipuric on the open side and Sam Warburton on the blind side is working.
Definitely paid off. Both Sam Warburton and Justin Tipuric have been immense today. They've been everywhere. The work rate has been incredible. And the gamble's paid off.
Mike Brown from fullback. Penalty to England. They must take it quickly. Danny Kerr's trademark tap and go. To James Haskell is on. He wins his 50th cap. Not in the happiest of circumstances, but it's still a milestone for him. Courtney Laws batters into midfield. Toby Flood. Mike Phillips makes the tackle. Ken Owens over the ball. His half steal all important in the tries. Tuilagi in field. Jamie Roberts intercepts. Stays away from the touchline. Alan Wynne-Jones. Penalty to Wales.
I think Mike Brown's got to move away from the ruck there.
Yeah, I just think, like, watch the first try. It's great work. Just watch, it's great work by Ken Owens first of all. He goes in, he makes a nuisance, ball comes out, and Tipuric shows his footman ability, and now it's a 2-on-1. Mike Brown does exceptionally well. He gets it, but this is an out-and-out international winger. Get off. Owen Farrell doesn't get any aim. What the finish.
Well, it's funny because Brown will be given a bit of a stick about the handoff, but he was put in an impossible position. Once he's chasing there.
Well, he's having a bit of stick off the ball as well at the moment. He's having a tough time out there, but like Jonathan said, he got into a good position. He shouldn't have been in that position anyway. He should have had the defence inside him to push that touchline. It just wasn't there.
Sam Warburton having one of the games of his life. Wins the line out, and here's another star of the show, Justin Tipuric. Courtney Laws lays a great long telescopic arm on him. He says, "You're going nowhere." The penalty advantage Wales. They'll take their time now. What do they do?
Good question, Eddie. 24 points ahead. Do they put England under pressure and kick for the corner, or do they go for the 3 points?
They go for the 3 points.
Dan
Just keep
Biggar.
adding, putting more misery in. Sean Edwards will be very, very happy about this.
This is interesting as well because Daniel Biggar stepping up for the kick. As I said earlier, I think Lee Halfpenny's took a knock on the quad.
He's having more attention, Lee Halfpenny, as another replacement comes on. It's Andrew Coombs. Well, he came in as a late replacement in the first game. He played so well that he retained his place for 2 full matches before Alan Wynne-Jones came back on, and he's coming on to finish off what he started.
Well, the back row battle today has been decisively won by the Welsh. There have been contributing factors to that, though. England's rocking at the set pieces hasn't helped. The fact they couldn't get any go forward hasn't helped. But the Welsh back row have dominated this game.
Dan Biggar, a little bit of fade on it, beautifully struck. More points, Wales 30, England 3.
And when this is reviewed in the colder light of day, not the alcohol-fueled haze which it will be tonight, you will find that Wales have been very clinical.
Billy Tweltrees comes away with it. Tom Croft. Kerr to Captain Robshaw, who doesn't get beyond Dan Biggar, but still Kerr to Flood. That's an excellent tackle. And Toby Faletau's work rate is massive. George North against Chris Ashton. Ashton delivers the ball
touch
back.
of the second half.
Toby Flood is through. Lee Halfpenny makes a try-saving tackle. Still there for England. Mike Phillips with the interception nearly. He was offside. It's going to be a penalty for England.
Well, it would spoil the game, so he won't get a yellow card, but in that zone.
Quickly taken, Brad Barrett. A metre short, 2 metres out. Danny Kerr, James Haskell. Oh, good tackle on him. Mind you, England have numbers. That's no by Danny Kerr.
I think that's a drop out 22 as well, which makes it even worse. Complete opposite to what Wales have been doing. They've got to be patient when they're 5 metres out from the try line. England, by kicking it there, that's just criminal.
Jonathan.
Just watch this second try. Just watch the brilliance of that Tipuric. We run it on. As the ball comes out, okay? He's in front of the player who receives the ball, but just watch him. He reads the play, he steps back, and then he gets away. He's got Barrett inside him, an international centre. He burns him off for pace, okay? And then just watch this. Takes the tackle, offloads to the winger. What great play by an open side flanker.
Yeah, I played a lot with Justin Tipuric. He would be very comfortable playing for international rugby as a 12 or 13, I can assure you.
Here comes Chris Ashton. England on the halfway line. No way back. This is David Wilson, who's just on for Dan Cole. Haskell knocks on. Well, Brian, it could have been a Grand Slam celebration. It's drifting away.
Well, it's shown. The reality is, England's a developing side. This is where they are. They are not a Grand Slam side yet, and it's been shown decisively. Wales have played. They've been outplayed today. You can't make any excuses.
And Shane, were it not for an opening 45 minutes against Ireland, what might it have been for Wales?
Well, it's such a turnaround. Absolutely, as far as Wales are concerned, it was a rubbish 40 minutes with a performance. They were poor in defence, certainly didn't do anything in attack. And today, you know, we've shown exactly what we could do with ball in hand, and it's been a wonderful performance in the end.
The one point I would make, Shane, though, is you obviously happy with this, and to beat England especially, but it shouldn't stop there for Wales. Beating England is not the big be-all and end-all. Beating the Southern Hemisphere teams is the be-all and end-all. That's where this Welsh team should be.
Well, and that's the next step. You know, with 7 minutes left here, we're ahead 27 points against England. We will win today, and we move on. We're playing against a team that was playing for the Grand Slam. We've stepped up. We certainly showed the home crowd what we can do. It's time to move on from there.
Scott Andrews comes on into the front row in place of Adam Jones, who went off to a hero's reception.
Well, they know just how fully he's contributed to this win, not just in the tight, in the loose as well. Fantastic performance.
Free kick at the scrum.
I don't think he's going to take this one quickly, Eddie, to be honest with you.
Wales go for the scrimmage.
This whole sequence thing, which has bedeviled this Six Nations, is a farce. It's ridiculous.
Now then, here we go. Sean Edwards sitting down there with the bald head. Andy Farrell will be the defensive coach on the Lions tour. Warren Gatland chose him above Sean Edwards. I don't suppose Sean Edwards had much of a point to prove, did he, Shane?
Well, Sean, as we saw from that clip, looking really happy with the Wales win and the performance. But it was all about today. It was all about today with Sean. He's very proud, and he just wanted Wales to do well, and they've certainly proved him right this week.
Well, Steve Walsh has just said that if it happens again, it'll be a penalty kick, this set thing.
Mike, in here.
The sequence of calling makes no difference at all to what happens in the scrum.
Brian, you know what you say about beating the Southern Hemisphere countries? Do you see those faces? England will do today.
Well, that's a positive ambition which should not be tolerated.
Off Wales go in the scrummage again. Or they could do this for 5 minutes just to make it hurt a little bit more.
Let's go Moose in again. Low again. Let's go.
Well, there you have. They're not massively out of kilter, but the fact is that Wales have made the ones that count.
I think this the gain line success is the big thing. If you can get over that gain line, it's so much easier with ball in hand to get over that line again and move forward. And as you can see from the stats, Wales have certainly dominated that area.
They certainly dominated
as well
this
as
area.
England are in disarray now at that point. They simply do not know what to do to get on the right side of Mr. Walsh, and Wales are taking full advantage of it, as indeed they should do.
More changes. Scott Williams comes on, Aaron Shingler comes on, James Hook comes on, off goes Sam Warburton.
And isn't it great that they can all get on for a championship win?
It is, and a lot of these boys, certainly haven't played many minutes in the championship. It's great to see Scott Williams on as well. We all know what he did against England last year. And James Hook as well, obviously. We want him to get ball in hand.
That'll do for starters from James Hook.
That's the equivalent in the front row of scoring a try. That is enough if you're in the front row.
And it's great to see that you can change the front row and they still be dominant in the scrum.
Well, the good thing from Wales' point of view, they're all young players.
Ken Owens comes on. Ken Owens throws and finds Andrew Coombs. Scott Andrews, number 18, has it at the tail. Aaron Shingler alongside him. Andrews. It's there for Lloyd Williams, the new scrum half. Paul James sets up again. Lloyd Williams. Alan Wynne-Jones. James Haskell has to get out of there. He does. Ken Owens, the hooker. Hook. Jonathan Davis. Aaron Shingler with a first touch. Lloyd Williams. They'll suddenly give a bit of width to the right. Scott Williams, scorer last year of the try at Twickenham. Alan Wynne-Jones. He's had a good game too.
He's been tremendous. He's worked his socks off from first to the 80 minute, as he always does, to be fair.
Ken Owens takes it almost to the very edge, and now they have to go back into Alan Wynne-Jones again.
Well, Wales are looking for another try, that's for sure. They're not content in just winning by 27 points.
Oops, it doesn't work. James Hook, ball gone loose for Tom Croft. Toby Flurden has a chance of a breakout for Mike Brown. Mike Brown, long run. Alex Cuthbert gets back. Ball goes forward. Jonathan Davis scoops up the scraps.
It's been the story of the match so far for England, really.
Lee Halfpenny. Hook. Tom Croft is back there. Oops, and he knocks it on. And that is pure disgust.
Well, when it's not going for you, it isn't going for you. And in contrast, there are many players who could have got man of the match. And it isn't just for this contribution of setting up this try that I've picked him as the man of the match, because he's had an exemplary specialist open side game on the floor. He has been the one that's got there first. Warburton's backed him up. Faratau's driven off. But he's just been a complete number 7 today. Deserved winner.
Yeah, thoroughly deserved. Fantastic player. He's had the chance to play today with Sam Warburton. The gamble's paid off. Not only has he worked hard and tackled everything, he's created 2 tries as well.
That may also played him into the Lions' position, because number 7 specialist, I think they need one down there.
Faratau spills it. There will be such weariness out there.
Let's go. Sorry, Jones. Sorry, buddy. Yeah.
It's a massive bit that's been played with such high tempo from start to finish. The boys will be out on their feet, but I'm sure we'll still see the Welsh team dancing at the end of this.
The thing is, O'Shea, you know as well as I do, to be out on your feet when you're winning, you can keep going. When you're on the other end of it, you just want it to end. And England will just want it to end because they've been thoroughly outplayed today. Congratulations to Welsh. They've done the job they needed to, and some more.
Well, you can see it in the body language. Wales are looking for another try. I think England are just ready to go home. It's been one of those days, really.
George North turns and scoops it up. Kicks for himself the chase. Mike Brown. has the ball. We're into overtime. Stand by for the roar. That goes with the title. Not yet. It's a penalty to England. Jeff Parling. Parling escapes. And he's on his own. The big second row for England. Lee Halfpenny. Cole on to make the tackle, and he does. Overlap. England. Brad Barrett. Oh, doesn't see it. Tuilangi picks up. Cuthbert makes the tackle on him. Aaron Shingles slows things down. Billy Twelvetrees. Parling drops the ball. That's it. Wait for it. It's celebration time at the Millennium Stadium because the title for the 2013 RBS Six Nations goes to Wales. They needed to win by 8 points. They have won by 27 points. Wales 30, England 3.
Well, better in every area, more streetwise, more experienced. But what was it? Even you can have all that on paper anyway. You've still got to go out and do it. And today, right from the first whistle, they were on the mark tactically, they're on the mark physically and mentally, and it was a very impressive win.
Well, a great win by Wales, dominated in all areas. Seemed to, take the Grand Slam week in the stride. A very nervous England performance, a lot of mistakes, a lot of tries from turnovers. Thoroughly deserved win. Wales need to move on from here now, looking into the summer.
$74,104. Most in red, most celebrating, because these players in red have done such a job today. The coaches in red have done such a job. It has been a wonderful day for Welsh rugby. They have beaten England. They have taken the Six Nations crown.
I'm sure I saw Sean Edwards smiling then.
Well, no need for calculators or abacuses. Only one winner in Cardiff tonight and in the championship overall. Congratulations to Wales retaining the Six Nations title and retaining it in style as England's Grand Slam dreams perished in what was, in the end, a very one-sided second half. And Jonathan Davis, where did that Wales performance come from, and what an extraordinary gulf in performance compared to that first half against Ireland at the start of the championship?
As I said, it's just a matter of confidence, I think, at this level. They've been Grand Slam winners.
Let me just interrupt for a second. Here's the man of the match with Sonia McLaughlin.
Well, Justin, Six Nations champions, how does that sound?
A bit unreal, really. I think it's a dream, to be honest. Never really thought that we'd play so well in front of a great crowd. Well, the boys are outstanding. Everyone works so hard for each other. It's brilliant.
Are you a little surprised, though, at the manner of your victory?
Yeah, well, we know what we could do. We've been talking about it all week. We've been ready since Monday. We were ready to play the game Tuesday, and to turn up Saturday and such a great performance, I got chuffed a bit.
It's been quite some turnaround after that poor first half from the very opening weekend against Ireland. What do you put it down to?
Yeah, we had a lot of bad media, but I think it gave us a bit of a kick up the backside. We stayed tight, and we just worked so hard in training, and it brought us tighter.
I think you're going to work a bit hard this summer. I think you're off somewhere down under. Well done, you're deserved RBS man of the match, Justin Tipuric. Well done.
Thank you very much.
So as the majority of the 74,000 here celebrate the Welsh title, there's confirmation that on points difference, and substantial points difference because they scored nearly 30 more than England, Wales, with a record victory over England in Cardiff in terms of points margin, are the champions. England will finish in second place, and as you can see from that result in Rome today, Italy beating Ireland, which means Ireland will get the wooden spoon if France beat Scotland in Paris tonight, and that's the last match of the Six Nations Championship, live on BBC Two at 7:30 tonight. Pictures there of Brian Jones, the injured Welsh captain from last weekend, who's missed out on this moment of triumph, and joy and elation in red and desolation in white. Clive Woodward, what was your take on that second half, especially when there really was only one team in it?
Well, it was. First of all, congratulations to Wales. It's a real privilege to be here, and what a magnificent second half from Wales. And you know, England's glum faces from Catty and Stuart Lancaster, but they've contributed hugely to the tournament. Played four, just wasn't good enough in the last hurdle. But Wales were outstanding. But the second half, Tipuric, Warburton, the guys on the wing, just fantastic. So England have got a lot to learn from this. They will. They'll go away, they'll be very disappointed, but they've got a lot to learn from this, and you can learn a lot sometimes when you lose a game like this.
I think this afternoon, we saw 648 caps against 290 of England. The experience, having been there, done it before, it was a special performance by Wales, and I think they learned in the second half. They said, right, England aren't committing themselves to the breakdown. Let's pick and drive, let's go through the middle. And I think eventually Rob Shaw, his work rate has not stopped throughout this championship. But Tipuric and Warburton, that back row balance for Wales was much better than the English back row.
Yeah, I just felt that the scrum, was always going to be the platform which Wales would dominate. And with that domination, the front five, Tipuric and Warburton and Faletau were absolutely immense. They absolutely bullied England, into submission. They kept possession, they charged and charged. And you've got to give England credit. They showed great character in the defence. But two moments of brilliance, a bit of vision from Tipuric. And that's why you pick wingers on the wing, because that's what they do at international. They finish off try-scoring opportunities. England had one or two, but they didn't finish. But there was only one side in it in the second half.
In the autumn, Jonathan, all manner of despair had consumed Welsh rugby as the number of consecutive losses mounted up. What has Rob Howley done, and what has his coaching staff done to suddenly change the pendulum so totally?
I think Clive will understand it, because international rugby is all about winning. They went to Australia. Gatland was injured, but they could have and should have won two of those three tests. Then they came back. They got a tough autumn, but then again, they lost narrow games they should have won. The second half performance against Ireland, I think when they just went, that's it, threw caution to the wind, and they played. And the win in France just turned that corner. And the last three games, they have played with confidence, with precision, and with sometimes domination. And I think you don't become a bad side overnight. They just had a bad run of results. This English side is a very, very good side, but maybe a couple of years behind where Wales were. And I think now that showed today in the second half.
This is a moment for talking about England in just a second, in a sense, if that is the future. If this is Wales's moment, and the presentation is about to take place. It was when Mike Phillips tapped and went about 10 minutes or so into the first half. Was that a declaration of intent from Wales that we're actually going to play this game at pace and with real intensity?
They needed to turn the temperature up in here and carry ball, and that's what they did. They carried ball, they took the game to England. That's what they did, and Mike was the catalyst of that.
Well, they turned the temperature up and they've turned the lights off, as you can see. And so bit by bit, all the Welsh players are going to come up to get their winner's medal at the end of this RBS Six Nations Championship. And for the occasion and for the championship as a whole, how much better we actually have a team winning a game and winning the championship, rather than that terrible situation we've had on occasions in the past where the losing team has had to rather disconsolately and apologetically go and receive the trophy at the end. Clive, what's your assessment of the way that this Welsh team has changed in the last couple of months?
Well, I think they've had the same players. You just got to get some luck. The games they lost by small margins. But when you see them man for man, I think Wales have got an outstanding starting 15. They've got some good backup players now. But they were full strength today, and they were a scary team. Make no bounds about it. They would have taken on any team in the world today. And they were deserved winners. And England got to learn a lot by just looking at the way they play, the speed they played at, the way they play in the midfield, the back row. They've got a lot of footballers there, and they were just that yard too quick for England today. And England got to learn a lot from this defeat today.
Wales were quicker in every aspect of the game, it seemed today. They were on the loose ball. Their line speed in defence was just much superior than England's, and it was a big domination. That second half, it was just all-consuming, and England unfortunately didn't have enough experience and didn't kind of work out the answer to it. They couldn't speed up their game. They couldn't have the speed of thought or physically compete with the Welsh. It's disappointing, but as Clive said, they have to learn from this.
Huge cheer for Lee Halfpenny, who had an immense game at fullback under the high ball and seemingly taking the right option at every possible opportunity. And we keep talking about Lions selection because I'm sure Warren Gatland, who was here today, would have made a few notes, but I suspect most of the positive notes he would have made would have been players wearing red.
Yeah, I think so. I thought, Lee Halfpenny was immense and has been immense throughout the tournament. But, you have this kid who came in, Coombs, who came in the first couple of games, played well. Ryan Jones got injured, and then Gethin Jenkins, took over his captaincy. Warburton has been, very respectful. He's been out of form because Tipuric has been the form player. And today, I think it's just, it all came together. They've turned up, they played together. They were so powerful with ball in hand. It was absolutely incredible. So it's very difficult to pick out one individual, but for me, the back row today as an unit were absolutely fantastic.
Well, Ryan Jones goes up to collect his medal, and he will have watched with mixed feelings today, I'm sure, because he would have been so proud to have been part of this squad, but he would have been given anything to have been out on the field of play at the moment of triumph. And Gethin Jenkins gets his medal. And the Six Nations trophy sits rather forlornly on the table and then is lifted high by the victorious Welsh team, who are RBS Six Nations champions for 2013. Celebration in the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff and across the whole of the Welsh nation. And it could be a long night, not just for the players and their nearest and dearest. It could be a long night for the tens of thousands in this stadium who are going to head off into the streets and the bars and the clubs of Cardiff this evening. But the feel-good factor that just will permeate through the city will be palpable, I think, when we walk outside. Just a couple of minutes or so before we go, and just to remind you, there is still one more match to come in the Six Nations this year, and that's in Paris tonight, where France plays Scotland. It's an 8 o'clock kick-off at the Stade de France. Our coverage starts at 7:30 on BBC Two, and we have a forum on the red button between 7 and 5:30 tonight.
Well, Stuart, another Grand Slam slips away, but are you stunned at the manner in which that one was denied?
Gutted. Going into half-time, we felt we had a decent first half. We realised we hadn't got all the execution right, and we didn't dominate the breakdown, and set piece was a problem, but we still felt we were going okay. But obviously, start the second half, and the first quarter of the second half wasn't good enough, and Wales thoroughly deserved the win. No complaints.
Is there any sense that your England team were just overwhelmed by the occasion and by what was at stake?
I don't think it was a psychological thing. I know it was an occasion. I thought Wales played well, and we didn't turn up, and we didn't match their physicality. And rugby's a simple game when you come down to it, and their physicality was better than ours.
Hard line, Stuart, but thanks for you.
Party time in the Millennium Stadium, and it will continue for some time yet. In the last couple of minutes we've got, let's just reflect from an English perspective about you saying, Clive, that you can often learn more